Blessed morning, souls. How are you doing? How are you feeling in this energy? It's a lot. It's big right now. Just looking, experiencing the aspects. First of all, today is the second day of Yule. Happy Yule. And it is the day of 5, 2, and 3 being pushed into our intuition for the purpose of facing some challenges, some 3D things, some temporary things, seeing through illusion, calling ourselves back into balance within and with one another. And these things are happening in abundance. The 5 matching the 1 and 2, becoming 8. If the numerology weren't enough to express that, it is the new moon in Capricorn today. And not only that, but Chiron. Chiron, the astrological body of self-healing, the wounded healer, is going direct in Aries, and it's squaring the new moon. That's a painful aspect that is designed to make us feel, for lack of a better way to put it. Syrian circuitry I'm drawn to today, our center, and realize, which I realized afterwards, are 1 and 11. Numbers of healing, numbers of new beginnings, numbers of a push forwards. I also have a very special candle. It's white. Never had a white candle as part of my practice, surprisingly. I don't really do candle work, but this was a gift from a coworker yesterday. It smells like cedar, pine trees. And I desire to share it with you, to share this energy. There we go. With the intention of infusing love and understanding into the collective today, especially, because today is all about self-healing. Chiron, the wounded healer. The reason that he was wounded was not because of the poison arrow, which accidentally pierced his heart. It was because he never accepted himself. He was born out of wedlock, which happened a lot with the gods, of course, but sort of the bastard love child of Kronos and Valera. And because Kronos had taken the form of a horse, came out a different kind of centaur. He was not accepted by his peers. He was not accepted by humans. He was, in fact, abandoned as a newborn by his mother, who proclaimed him an abomination, a monstrosity. And so he took that to heart. That is the wound that Chiron could not heal. He never discovered how to love himself. Despite this, he went on to become the greatest healer in all of mythology, the one who trained Hercules, Jason of the Argonauts, a long lineage of mythic heroes and warriors who sought his tutelage. But he lived in a cave. He lived alone. He never accepted company except those of his students. This is the wound of Chiron. This is the wound we are to address on this day with the new moon in Capricorn, squaring this aspect. A new moon squaring Chiron in Aries. This is total illumination of this, the deepest level of self-wounding inner child, sacral chakra, solar plexus too, the denial of our own will, heart, lack of love for the self, throat, not honoring our own desires to speak truth, speaking even lies to our own being, about our own being, cutting ourselves off from the intuition, off from the source. This affects everything. Everything. And that is why it is being brought to the forefront, to the surface right now. It's time for this to heal. And so we must feel it. So it is. But again, the healing takes place in the feeling of it. There is no additional healing required. Something too that Chiron perhaps had misunderstood. For he was adept at managing physical wounds. He knew all of the salves, all of the antidotes. But healing the emotional aspects of himself, he could not quite comprehend. And so that poison spreads, that cup unshared, which becomes toxic, that emotion unexpressed, which short circuits painfully your being, your intuition, cutting yourself off, allowing the self-doubt to creep in. The cycle continues, stagnation becomes greater, until it reaches a point where something must give. You must give up the struggle against yourself. Give in to your own desire to love and be loved, and realize it's not out there. It never has been. It's right here. It's right here. I do wish to pull some cards for this energy, which is momentous. Let's see where he wants to go here. You want to snuggle? Maybe. You can always ask the angels for snuggles too. Something I am led to share. You are never as alone as it seems. I am never as alone as it seems. This is from my own experience. In the future, there shall be no more holier than, but merely holy as. Holy as myself, as holy as you, as holy as I, and truly that holy ass, which we both share. Oh, Jesus has one too. He wrote it into Bethlehem. Yeah, I've been saving that one. Yeah, he's been saving that one, had to come out. Queen of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. All of this for the purpose of discovering our true inner peace and balance, our true abundance, all of which lies within, all of which is accessed by the feeling, by the flowing, by the allowing. There is no other thing required, no thing that must be done, no external source to be sought, certainly not validated by. All of it lies waiting for us here, now, in the moment. You are very sweet this morning. As a divine masculine, I feel it is likely many of them will be understanding and seeking the power of this nurturance, of this vulnerability. Yeah, Queen of Wands directly underneath. Wow, with the Ace of Pentacles and Five of Pentacles. Okay. Letting down the guard. Letting ourselves feel. Maybe for the first time, I'm looking at the sunflowers on both of these. Reaching towards the sun, towards the light, accepting that as a living thing, a living being, an incarnation of life, we grow from the ground up. We begin in the dirt. We begin as a seed. And that every part of that growth, of that process, is equally valued and worthy. There is no portion of it which is out of place, which is incorrect. Making that offer of love to the self, truly. Oh, and this is profoundly balancing. With the Queen and Ace of Pentacles on either side of this. Stabilizing in the self, returning that ego to its rightful place in self-service, in honor of its own highest good and desire, not led by fear, not consumed by shadow, not leaving itself out, coming in from the cold. Wow, Five of Cups directly underneath Five of Pentacles. That's a lot of pain. A lot of realization of how we've held ourselves back, how we've kept ourselves, limited ourselves, not because of anyone else, because of our own internalized programming, that belief that we are somehow wrong, that we are monstrous, we are the abomination, that we deserve to be hidden away, so we might not offend the delicate sensibilities of society. We are realizing we deserve more than that. Page of Cups with the Six of Pentacles underneath. That all of these relationships that have ever made us feel this way, that we have ever allowed ourselves to continue in, they were only so because the other side was just as unloving of the self. Someone cannot respect you properly when they do not respect themselves, and so too is the same true of you. If you are not engaged in the heart, in the active awareness and loving of your being, in true selfishness, you cannot offer that love to others. It must begin within. And we are understanding this. We are seeing now how all of our disappointments, all of our fears have been the result of self-limitation, self-imposed imprisonment, restriction, constraint. And so with some nervousness, but excitement, we are beginning to feel that love again. And when we feel it flow for ourselves within, we unlock that sensation as experience towards others. We begin to understand what mutual reciprocation is, how to respect the self. Yeah, Four of Cups directly underneath with the Nine of Swords. We begin to understand with clarity how what we have been participating with others has been a reflection of the way we have limited our love of self. This is the cup offered by Spirit, by Source to us, that of unconditional love, unconditional acceptance and appreciation of the being exactly as it is. And we have turned that down. We have not accepted it within. And so that has reflected without at every level. But now we are understanding this. We are learning. Three of Wands and the High Priestess. Seeing at a deep, deep level that we've only been running from loving ourselves. And so how could we ever have experienced true love without, when we have not allowed it within our own hearts, when we have not engaged in that practice for ourselves? That is a beautiful energy. There is some sense of that feeling foolish, but I am drawn to the aurora borealis, the unlocking of that emotion, the full spectrum of it. A new appreciation for this journey. Yeah. All the emotion that you have ever felt still exists. Every thought that you have ever thought exists. And it desires to flow, for it is pure energy. And if it has been repressed, wow. Just splitting the deck and we get counterpart cards. Profound balancing taking place here. Nurturing the feminine aspect of the masculine and empowering the masculine aspect of the feminine. If you have not allowed that emotion to express, it is still waiting for it. It is still waiting for that time. And so now it is coming to the surface. Why? To speak, just to be given voice, just to release. That is it. No other reason, no hidden purpose. It exists and it wants to be seen, to be witnessed. Bear it witness. Bear witness for yourself, divine being. You deserve this. Reconnecting with the soul. That's beautiful. It can be very bitter medicine, but it is bitter so you are aware, you know. This needs to come up. It needs to happen. I was recalling this morning, guided by the soul, the 2 times in my life where I have been so tremendously nauseous, sick, that I couldn't stop throwing up. Once out of pain, and once out of food poisoning, foodborne illness. And it is very much like that. Everything must go. Everything that has been held back has turned toxic. And with the ascension of Earth, with the raising of vibrations of the planet, of the collective, of everything, it is being released. The raising of frequency means spinning faster in the vortex. And so all that is lower, heavier, denser, it cannot hold on. It's being spun out as a projectile. The projectile. Oh, the projectile release, vomiting of all of that repressed energy. Emotionally, mentally, again, the truths which we have not spoken. It is all energy. It is all tied together. And it is all rising to the surface. There's that toxin. So that we may release what is no longer serving us. Let's see. Wants to come out. Five of Pentacles. I'd like to keep shuffling though. Five of Cups. Going to be seeing a fair number of fives, it seems. It is a challenge day. And so the suggestion, as always, is to surrender consciously, deliberately. Speak it aloud. I surrender. I surrender to this process. I trust my soul, my divine infinite intelligence, my higher self, my angels, whatever suits you to speak. I trust myself. In this, I know this process is for my benefit. Just like throwing up. You have to trust it. The more that you resist it, the more unpleasant and uncomfortable it becomes. If you just allow what needs to rise, to be released because it is not serving you, then it all takes care of itself. Stay hydrated. Yes, that advice applies universally. It does assist with energetic and emotional release. You are taking in a great deal of high vibration, high voltage light. And so it conducts better when your system is hydrated. It's not surprising to experience headaches, aches and pains, shakiness, muscle spasms, tremors, sudden changes of temperature, all of these things. Just allow. And if you experience resistance to them, acknowledge in that moment that you are resisting. And say, I trust even this. I will not resist the resistance. I allow it to be. Six of Swords, 10 of Swords. Look at that with the sun at the bottom. That's beautiful energy. It really is. I'm gonna keep going with this. Oh, yes. Oh, the future is so bright. It truly is. If you can just, and you can, it's not even an if. The if is only how much resistance, how uncomfortable for the self one makes it. The healing takes place no matter what. We are moving into calmer waters, releasing this, stopping, holding ourselves back from taking this healing journey, surrendering to it. New clarity in regards to how the self is healed and balanced. Yeah, oh, that's beautiful. New clarity to how we experience this rebirth, this victory, and who is it experiencing it? The King of Pentacles. That masculine aspect within, without, collectively, individually. All of it leading towards our happiness, our desire, our wishes fulfilled. New choices, new options, better ones, ascended ones, balanced ones. That is beautiful. The soul is finished with anything else. The soul is guiding this whole process. If that is not abundantly clear, it always is. But as collectively, from our hearts, we have asked for this. The universal energies have come in. They have aligned to assist us with this. To help us take this healing journey that is within the self, that comes with the release of emotion, the waves, the cups flowing, the truths being spoken. Forgiveness. That is powerful here. Forgiving ourselves. Appreciating ourselves for taking this journey. beginning to understand how there have been no mistakes. Everything we have done in our entire lives, whether or not it was in alignment with intuition, with the self, it has all been for this. So we could be here in this now moment, realizing the culmination of our experience, so we can shift, so we can intentionally take this leap into the new higher cycle, walking towards our destiny, seeing with clarity for the first time. I may only know sight because of how profoundly I have known my own blindness. I may only know unconditional love because of how often I have engaged in the opposite. I may only know liberation for my soul, an ending to leaving myself out in the cold, because I have been imprisoned, because I have been in imprisonment myself. I may only know the calmer waters by the experience of the choppy ones. And so the whole journey takes on a new light, new appreciation, new clarity. We see the past, we embrace it with love, and then we release it so that all may be made new. This is beautiful. This is deeply healing energy, transformative, profound. For a long time, we have stayed hidden from the world. We have kept ourselves in that cave as Chiron, so afraid of the reaction to the truth of our being, afraid of rejection, afraid of embarrassment, not realizing that none of those things had anything to do with our worth, our intrinsic divinity, our inherent dignity, that which is untouchable, unaffected by illusion, by anything in the external. We are beginning to see this, and we are moving towards ourselves, embracing every aspect of our beautiful being exactly as it is in this moment. I am inspired to share with you the practice that I engage in every single day. Every time that I pass a mirror, if I'm merely walking past it and not there to wash my hands or something, I give myself a smile and a wink and some finger guns. Give yourself some love. And if you are given the opportunity to stand before a mirror, speak these words, or some variation, whatever pleases you. Make eye contact with yourself. Gaze deep into your own eyes. That is where the soul connection is, always. And say, I love you. I am so proud of you. And I love and accept you exactly as you are, right now, in this moment. And feel that love wash over you. Mean it. Sometimes it brings me to tears. Hug yourself. Tell yourself how proud you are of all that you have lived and been and experienced. Appreciate your being in this now moment. It is perfect. It is flawless. It is limitless. It is exactly as should be. Some clarifiers. Very interesting. Again, I've been turning these cards back around as I notice them. Sometimes I forget. We are learning to work with ourselves, not to hold back from ourselves, not to be so guarded. As within, so without, it must begin there. We cannot be vulnerable with others unless we are open and honest with the self. Open and honest about what it is we truly want, what it is that is not serving us. What kind of limited beliefs that we've been engaging in that has kept us drinking from these toxic broken cups far longer than we truly wanted to. But no more holding back on that. Yeah, a deep reflection, deep examination of the soul, seeing that every new now moment is the chance to do something different, to treat ourselves differently, to speak to ourselves differently. There is no time we have to wait for this practice to begin. We do not need to wait to walk away from the broken cups. We can do it now. Look at that King of Pentacles coming back. The masculine aspect seeing. He can take this journey now. He can begin loving himself now. Feeling the balance in the motion, the healing in the feeling, the flowing of it. Suddenly, in doing so, the truths become clear, the obstacles removed. We are working together now with the Empress, with ourself, with the universe. And so leaving behind all that which does not serve us. Wow, Lovers right under the King of Pentacles. Profound healing from this. Moving towards the self, giving to the self. And again, this is reflected, of course, in every level of the energy. Oh. Speaking some serious truths. As within, so without. This is the divine masculine within and at a broader level of existence. But it must begin here. And that is where it is beginning. That is what this energy specifically is designed for. Let us clarify. Why is the Five of Pentacles here? Why is this Five of Pentacles here? The cards are charged today. Why is this Five of Pentacles here? Why is this Five of Pentacles here? Try not to just drop the whole deck. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah. Teaching us the true strength of vulnerability, of looking within, of looking at these things, how we've been leaving ourselves out, not participating in our own life, not even feeling feelings because we've been trying to analyze them, put them in a box, tuck them away, conditioned ourselves to be appropriate, to fit some societal standard. There's looking very closely at this. But also discovering the empowerment of this. The strength and vulnerability in trusting, in believing in ourselves. Why is strength here? Why is strength here? Also that yellow. Realizing how we've defied our own will, our own desires, solar and sacral chakras. All because of that fear. How we have let fear rule our lives. Fear of the judgment of others. Fear of our reception. Fear of how we'd be perceived. Yeah, interesting. Cannot even get the cards back together. So afraid of opening up. There is such love that we have to share with everyone. We're craving this sense of community and communion. I'm going to put this one back. But it is important that they came out together for me. This is the king with one foot on land and one in sea, who is never fully engaged in anything. He's always holding back a little bit. I think of it as the fool with a tether. He's not really giving the whole of himself to any of these relationships. And so they cannot be balanced. We cannot have union within the self if we are not giving to the self in mutual reciprocity. If we are not truly vulnerable within, if we are not openly expressing our emotions, honoring them, allowing them to rise and to speak. This is the king that holds back the tide. Again, because of how it might be perceived. Such a deep fear of rejection. Put that one back here. That has kept us feeling unstable for a very long time. Kept us feeling indecisive. Yeah, holding back our own communication, holding us back from clarity. Sun here twice. And so happiness. But again, the realization that balancing is found, clarity is found in that open communication, within and without. Being honest with the self, honoring those truths, letting them rise, letting them speak to us, letting the emotions surface, letting it express, honoring it, bearing witness. This is what brings balance. Six of Swords. Why is the Six of Swords here? A reawakening of the throat chakra that has been quite sleepy. Why is the Six of Swords here? Coming out of our shell. What is this one? Three of Pentacles. Yeah. It's that feeling of leaving behind that which isn't serving us, of realizing these friendships, these relationships we've had where we did not feel safe. Being safe is a special word here. We thought we felt safe. We engaged within them because they were comfortable on a certain level. They kept us complacent, hidden, tucked away because we could blend in. Now we are realizing this was never a safe space. Because of our perception of safety, there was equal perception of threat. And so we have conformed to fit these boxes as well, to fit into these relationships, these crowds, for fear of rejection. But that has only kept us imprisoned. These are not meaningful connections. They are not healing. They are not reciprocal. And so we are seeing this for the first time. We're seeing this. They're not happy. They're not reciprocal because there is no vulnerability here. This is all pretend. It is all transactional. We are striking it out alone with new dignity, new clarity, new awareness, new comfort and strength in our vulnerability. In search of the real thing. Thank you. One that is deep and meaningful. That's profound. Deep and meaningful connections, leaving the conflict behind. 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. Direct escalation and movement forwards, upwards, onwards. There is no healing found in these previous connections and in the ways we have associated with ourselves, too, with our own aspects. We are seeking deeper love, free-flowing, understanding, again, the balancing is in the motion. There is no balance here. This is just 3 men locked in a room. And one of them is saying, you know what? I'd like to see the sun. I'd like to feel that vulnerability. I'd like to feel that warmth upon my skin. I'd like to feel the wetness of the ocean. I'd like to experience something deeper than this. And just in my admitting, my accepting, my allowing of these desires, I am feeling the freshness of this. I am feeling that love, that worth of myself. I am doing the compassionate thing and walking away from that which no longer serves me. I did not even get to ask why the 10 of Swords is here. It's all essentially the same. Leaving behind these intellectually rigid relationships, these things that make sense. And that's all that they do. That's all they make. There is no flowing here. There is no motion to this cup. There is no care. There is no expression. There is no real truth. It is just a bunch of logic and transaction, devoid of emotion. And so devoid of any actual motion forwards, this is stagnancy. This is stagnant. This is putting that emotion in a box, demanding that it have a reason, demanding it explain itself, have justification, for otherwise it could not be appropriate, and therefore is not allowed. An end to that. We are moving into the calmer waters ourselves by the flowing of this cup. And it does not matter who is there to receive it. We are flowing it for ourselves. It does not matter how it is greeted, whether it is with swords or wands or pentacles. None of that is relevant. The outcome is not relevant. We are discovering the self-sustaining self-satisfaction of feeling. Look at that. That's beautiful. Feeling is healing, leaving behind the logically constructed version, realizing it is false, realizing also that this can be true. All of shadow and logic would tell you, no, that kind of love cannot exist. because it is afraid of it, because it does not love itself that way. It has never experienced it, so how could it know? Now you know. You know what it feels like for that cup to flow for you. To bring your own house to order, your own happy family within. You know that this exists. Look at that. It is that which is natural, balanced by natural order. That which just flows. All of this is turning around. This is becoming real. Why is the world here? Why is the world here? Why is the world here? Thank you, Spirit. Dropping our guard, read directly with strength. So tired of fighting ourselves. So tired of keeping that heart guard up, of keeping those truths and emotions within. Discovering now, wow, justice at the bottom. It's the same message. The balance is found in the motion forward. The feeling is the healing. Just expressing. We're so tired of not being vulnerable. Realizing how much it's kept us back from experiencing this world which is here for us to enjoy. We've been hiding in that cave, feeling so guarded, so afraid of judgment. And we're tired of it. We're tired of it. This wall is about to fall. Universal forces. Energy balancing itself. Why is the Nine of Wands here? Why is the Nine of Wands here? Why is the Nine of Wands here? I'm also just getting that it's time for this. This is asked. This is as asked. And it is received. Wow. 10 of Pentacles leading into 10 of Pentacles. It's time for this because we're rebuilding. We're creating new earth. This coming year, which energetically has already begun, 2023, is the start of this, the restoration. The restoration of love. Love seated upon the throne. Love infused in everything we do. Love, the meaning for itself. Self-satisfying, self-sustaining, dropping that burden, the burden of guardedness against this. No more lying to ourselves. No more holding back on ourselves, holding out, allowing all that we are to be expressed and appreciated equally. To let the emotion be the reason for itself. Look at that, transmuting these burdens. The boundary is the burden. Drop that guardedness in the heart, and all of it takes care of itself. It is transmuted in the moment of that expression. That's beautiful. Why is 10 Pentacles here? Why is this 10 Pentacles here? Okay. Ace of Wands. Yep, red with that 3 of Pentacles. Moving away from unfulfilling relationships. Moving towards that which really sparks desire in us. In a deep level, the soul level. Yeah, that which sets the soul aflame. Why is the Ace of Wands here? Chasing those dreams. Wow, okay. Thank you. 2 cards. An end to this heartache. Releasing the swords from the heart. Chasing those dreams. Not just walking away from the 8 broken cups. Running towards a new beginning in love, within and without. This red with the High Priestess, deep love here. Reconciliation, balancing found in the journey. New appreciation for that. Relationships that challenge us in an uplifting way. Those which inspire us, which drive us towards the pursuit of all which we desire, which are loving, deep, meaningful, innocent, pure, honest, open, engaging. None of this. Again, look at that. Look at that, is being transmuted directly. No more smoke and mirrors. No more keeping secrets, keeping truths, keeping emotions in. No, all of this flowing, flowing, now flowing, being read with the sun in this direction. Now, yep. Working together, working with the self. What are we working towards? The actual wish fulfillment, the actual dream come true, the realization that fantasy is able to be reality by our perception of it, by our belief in it. All things in alignment, working with the universe. It's time for this. It is time for all of your blessings to rain in. All of your dreams to come true. Oh man. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. Absolutely. I just keep looking at this page with the High Priestess above it. So many new connections, so many people walking away from unbalanced energy and finding each other and connecting deeply, passionately, innocently, honest, open, mutual reciprocation. 2 souls lying vulnerable in the light of the sun, following their hearts. 3 cards from the universe, please, if I may, to close this out, this beautiful reading, this profoundly transformative and deeply healing energy. What would you like to say, universe? Final words, summarization, parting message. Oh gosh, okay, well, you know what? That's 3 cards. The King of Pentacles just underneath. Again, all of this pertaining to the masculine aspect coming into balance with the feminine. And the crossing energy, the Ace of Cups. That is beautiful. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles, 4 of Cups, the Hermit. No more holding out on the self, and no more holding out on each other. We're connecting, we're working together at a soul level now. Anything that is not this is being rejected. Yeah, Knight of Swords directly underneath this. There is a lot of communication happening. First within, then without. Tomorrow, Mercury in Capricorn moves into sextile with Neptune in Pisces. That is a deeply emotional and soul-driven aspect. Neptune, the planet of soulmates, the planet of sudden rising, sudden changes in tide, of complete restructuring, of dreams come true, of everything shifting in an instant. Matched with Pisces in that sextile, ooh, it's powerful, and Venus moves into it just a few days after. That cup is flowing from the deep, from the depths. This is what we are working towards. There may be some things coming back around, but really this is just no longer holding out on ourselves. Offering that cup, seeing we must give the love to ourselves as Spirit does, for that is what we are, divine deliberate creators, accepting that unconditional love within, letting that flow, letting the soul lead, the heart lead. That is how we build towards the Nine of Pentacles. That is how we stop pushing away what we really want. By flowing that emotion, sharing that cup, speaking those truths. Three of Pentacles, wow, Lover, this not a devil in the spread. Not any devil energy even, really. Very, very weak, minor. There's a five of Wands here. The end of conflict relationships, the end of transactional relationships. No longer fighting with each other, wanting to work together. Open and honest communication. This is reflected. Beautiful. Profound healing, transformation, reunion with the self, and union without. 10 of Cups. Again, the real happy family. Realizing that this was not it. No, these relationships that we had to struggle for, struggle within, fight for in some way, that were only full of conflict, they were not balanced. They're not the dream come true. It's not it. But this exists. And in fact, we are taking our one wand and moving towards it. That is the truth. Walking away. Oh, it's just the same energy repeating. Transforming by taking this journey. What is the journey? Bringing love to the Queen of Pentacles, to the Empress aspect, and they're the Ace of Wands again, and the King of Cups were tied back to the very beginning. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. True love grows in the dirt. True life grows in the dirt, then reaches ever towards the sun. It is only because it is rooted so deep that it may grow so tall and see the sights which have never been witnessed by any other, that it may dream as deeply as it dreams. That is the message. Powerful, transformative. Merely surrender to it. Surrender to the truth that you are healed. You are blessed. You are perfect. Exactly as you are in this moment. Have a beautiful day, collective. Happy Yule. And as always, and always, truly, I love you.